sounds that spoke of the natural order of things, of predator and prey, of life and death played out beneath a canopy of stars. As darkness descended, they stumbled upon a clearing, a beacon of moonlight in the heart of the jungle. A lake, its surface as smooth as polished obsidian, shimmered in the silvery light. Reeds, their stalks swaying gently in the breeze, whispered secrets to the night, their rustling a soothing counterpoint to the symphony of the jungle. For Dasa and Maya, weary from their long journey, it seemed like a sanctuary, a place to rest and replenish their dwindling supplies. Dole, her senses still on high alert, lumbered towards the water's edge, her massive head lowered as she drank deeply. The children, their earlier excitement tempered by exhaustion, clung to their mother's side, their eyes wide with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. They had never been so far from the familiar embrace of their village, had never experienced the raw power of the jungle at night. Dasa, ever resourceful, gathered dry branches and kindling. His skilled hands coaxed small fire into life. The flames licking at the darkness cast flickering shadows that danced across the surrounding trees, creating the illusion of movement where there was none. The scent of wood smoke, both comforting and familiar, drifted on the night air, a fragile barrier against the unseen dangers that lurked in the darkness. Maya, her heart heavy with unspoken fears, soothed the children, her soft lullaby a balm against the encroaching darkness. She had never doubted Dasa's strength, his ability to protect their family, but the jungle, with its unseen dangers and constant reminders of their vulnerability, gnawed at her resolve. She found herself clinging to the familiar rituals of motherhood, the act of comforting your children, a way of warding off the fear that threatened to consume her. As a fire crackled and hissed, a low rumble echoed through the trees, a sound so deep, so primal, that it seemed to vibrate in the very marrow of their bones. Dole, her head snapping up, let out an answering roar, a sound that shook the ground beneath their feet and sent a shower of sparks spiraling up from the fire. Dasa, his hand instinctively reaching for his spear, felt a shiver run down his spine. He had heard that sound before, had felt the tremor of the earth beneath the weight of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but never this close, never when his family's safety rested on his shoulders. The undergrowth rustled, and a second Tyrannosaurus Rex, its scales gleaming like polished obsidian in the moonlight, emerged from the trees. It was a male, larger than Dole, its head adorned with a crown of bony plates, its jaws lined with teeth the size of Dasa's forearm. For a moment, the two titans stood facing each other, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Then, with a graceful movement that belied their size, they began to circle each other, their tails thrashing, their low rumbles, a prelude to a dance as old as time itself. Dasa, his heart pounding in his chest, watched in awe as the two dinosaurs moved with a primal grace, their dance a mesmerizing blend of power and aggression. He had never witnessed such a display, had never imagined that such creatures could be capable of such intricate movements. It was a spectacle both terrifying and beautiful, a reminder of the raw power that existed in this prehistoric world, a power that both dwarfed and humbled him. Dole, Her movements, fluid and graceful, met the male's advances with a mixture of shyness and defiance. She lowered her head, rubbing it against his flank, her low rumbles a rumbling counterpoint to his deeper roars. The male, his initial aggression tempered by her responded in kind, nuzzling her neck, his massive head dwarfing hers. As the night wore on, the two Tyrannosaurus rex continued their courtship, their roars echoing through the jungle, a symphony of sound that spoke of an ancient ritual, a dance of dominance and submission, of attraction and acceptance. Dasa, his initial fear giving way to a grudging respect, watched as Dole, her massive form a reassuring presence, settled down for the night, her head resting protectively close to where he and his family slept. He knew that as long as she was there, they were safe, protected by a creature whose loyalty and ferocity knew no bounds. He closed his eyes, the warmth of the fire and the sound of Dole's steady breathing lulling him into a restless sleep. The jungle, with all its dangers and wonders, held them in its embrace, and for now, at least, they were safe. The first light of dawn filtering through the dense canopy painted the lake and its surrounding jungle in hues of soft gold and emerald green. The air, still heavy with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and damp earth, carried a stillness, a sense of anticipation, as if the jungle itself were holding its breath, waiting for the day's symphony to begin. Dasa, his sleep disturbed by the weight of responsibility and the lingering echoes of dinosaur roars, stirred beside the banked embers of the fire. He rose carefully, his movements slow and deliberate so as not to disturb Maya and the children who were still sleeping soundly, their faces serene in the soft light. He ran a hand through his tangled hair, his gaze drawn to where Dole lay, her massive form a reassuring presence near the remnants of their makeshift camp. The male Tyrannosaurus rex, its presence still evident in the flattened undergrowth and the lingering scent of musk, had retreated into the jungle, leaving Dole to guard her adopted family. Dole's eyes, those ancient reptilian orbs that had witnessed millennia of life and death, flickered open as she sensed his gaze. She let out a low rumble, a sound that resonated deep within Dasa's chest, a primal acknowledgement of his presence and a silent reassurance that she was watching, always watching. He moved towards the lake, drawn by the promise of cool water and a moment of solitude before the demands of the day began. A fine mist clinging to the surface of the water like a gossamer veil obscured the far shore, creating an ethereal atmosphere that seemed to blur the boundaries between the real and the imagined. He knelt by the water's edge, cupping his hands to drink deeply, the cool liquid soothing his parched throat. As he drank, he heard a rustling in the undergrowth behind him, a sound distinct from the normal symphony of the jungle, a sound that spoke of something large moving with purpose. He turned, his hand instinctively reaching for the bone-handled knife at his side, his senses on high alert. Through the swirling mist, he saw the male Tyrannosaurus rex emerge from the trees, its massive head lowered, its eyes fixed on Dole, who had risen to her feet, her tail thrashing, her low rumble, a challenge that echoed across the water. The male, its intentions clear, was not deterred by Dole's display of aggression. it continued to advance, its massive body parting the mist like a ship cutting through waves, its footsteps shaking the ground with each thunderstep. Dole, sensing the imminent threat, let out a deafening roar, a sound that seemed to split the air, a sound that sent a flock of startled birds screeching into the sky. Dasa, his heart pounding in his chest, felt a surge of adrenaline, the primal instinct to fight or flee warring within him. He knew that he was no match for the raw power of the two Tyrannosaurus Rex, yet the thought of abandoning Dole, of leaving his family unprotected, was unthinkable. He gripped his knife tighter, his gaze darting between the two massive